Sometimes when I'm thinking about us, before we got lost and we parted, back to back we would carry on and we'd do anything for what we started. But this time we could break. I'm running dry, everything's the same. We'll try tonight. This time we're not safe and sound, not safe and sound. Back we would carry on and we'd do anything for what we started. But this time we could break. I'm running dry, everything's the same. We'll try tonight. This time we're not safe and sound, not safe and sound. What if I'm no good for you? What if you're no good for me? Yeah. What if I'm no good for you? What if you're no good for me? Yeah. What if I'm no good for you? What if you're no good for me? Yeah. What if I'm no good for you? What if you're no good for me? Yeah. What if I'm no good for you? What if you're no good for me? Yeah. What if I'm no good for you? What if you're no good for me? Yeah. What if I'm no good for you? What if you're no good for me? Yeah. What if I'm no good for you? What if you're no good for me? Yeah. What if I'm no good for you? What if you're no good for me?
What's up, everybody? Welcome to the FPV News. It's good to be here with you. Hopefully on the right stream this time, Blunty. Did I get the right one? I say we. It's me.
I think so. Actually, I don't check that. So
Yeah. No one in the
I hope
chat
so.
is complaining. It does
All
seem
right.
like we're on the right. Last week I started the wrong stream by accident, and Wesley Vardy actually didn't make it. He got the rug pulled out from under him, and now he's here, and that's good. We weren't trying to avoid him.
Yeah.
Nope, we wouldn't do that.
Yeah. It's good to see we're in the right stream, and we're coming to you
Yeah.
with the news like we do on almost every Tuesday.
Yeah, almost every Tuesday we will tell you about the latest developments in the world of FPV, including a big fat PSA that we're going to get to. If you got your HDZero goggles, do not do the thing that you think you ought to do
Well,
when
now
you
you
first
can.
get them.
Well, we'll explain. Yeah, what happened before and what you need to do if you have the old ones now.
No, you're right. It's a different PSA. It's a different PSA than yesterday. I gave the PSA yesterday. I was just sort of rolling into the same. Somebody left a comment last week, Blunty, and they were like, I wish Bardwell would stop interrupting Blunty. I was like, okay, this again. And he said, Blunty always seems so well informed, and Bardwell always seems, just badly informed, and just let Blunty do the news. And I was like, that's the shtick. That's the shtick.
That's the
right?
idea.
Yeah. I am tired of being the guy who knows it all. That's the whole reason I started doing the news with you. There's probably more to it than that. I don't mean to be insulting. But it's that you can put together the news, you can be well informed, and I can just show up, waltz in, and be like, what are we doing, folks? And, interrupt you.
Well, one thing I got to call Audible real quick. We need show notes if you want to paste those. real quick.
Oh, flippin' heck.
That's
I didn't do the
one thing I
flippin'
think
title. Man, see?
one thing I think we gotta have.
Oh, you're right. Wow.
It's okay.
The perfect week. Not this week. Hold on, I'm putting the show notes right now.
Make sure you copy all of them. It looks like maybe you didn't highlight all of them.
Oh, I see that. You're right. Damn it. I was so busy talking to you about Last of Us. Okay, while I copy in the show notes,
That's also true,
you tell people
Okay.
why Last of Us 1 we got a 7 out of 10.
Yeah, I played Last of Us 1. It came out for PC. I've been playing through that. I spent about 13 hours getting through The Last of Us Part 1. No spoilers for the story in case anybody hasn't played it. I don't think that's fair to anybody here. But I will just say 7 out of 10. I think narrative decisions that they made were okay, but not amazing. But the narrative was the strongest part of the game. The gameplay was weaker, I would say, for sure. It's sort of narrative driven, and it's meant to be watched like a movie sort of thing, played like a movie. So, there were a lot of cases similar to like Uncharted where I don't need to move another dumpster in front of another ledge from across the room, or another pallet in front of another ledge so that, somebody can get across the river. That doesn't add anything.
Little repetitive is what you're saying.
It just feels like it's padding the gameplay time, to like justify the price of the game to me. So
let's see. I got to pick the title. What's the best story to put in the title, Blunty? Then I'll hit save.
HDZero update 1080p 30, something like that, maybe. Because that's the other part of our PSA today. We'll be talking about in just a second.
Okay. And save. Okay, there we go. Fixed.
All right.
Well, let's not waste any more time. Not that we were wasting time with your video game content. You have like real insights into video games. We've talked about that.
I play
before.
enough video games that I hope I should have insights.
Yeah.
I hope I have insights.
You said some things to me before the stream that you didn't say here because I think you would have considered them to be spoilers. It was really insightful. I wished I didn't play through the whole game and don't remember it and just watched the TV show. So I'm actually not sure which narrative beats that I remember were from the TV show, but not the game. And I was like, I was listening to what you were saying and I was like, I want to engage with this, but actually I'm not sure I remember enough details to do it. I felt bad. So, let's get in with that public service announcement though.
Yes.
Related to the HDZero goggles batch 2, which have news, they finally started arriving, which is also newsworthy. Yay.
Yeah.
What is the warning?
Along with that, there were some issues on shipping. So basically, batch 2, there was a batch 1 originally. I think it was like 500 units that shipped last year. Batch 2 started shipping this year. And it had some issues because it came with a newer version of the firmware than was on the website. So if people were getting, in the last few days here, they've been getting HDZero Batch 2 goggles, the new ones, and they've been flashing them. But if you go online and flash them, unfortunately, the goggles no longer work appropriately because the older firmware was up, and basically the hardware support in that firmware wasn't there. However, it looks like as of today, we got a post from Carl earlier today that he did push a new firmware. So if we want to open up that second link, we can show Carl's post from about 5 hours ago. You're going to look for Rev 0404 2023, and that's going to be the safe one to update with. And that should be the newest one on the website. And
is that the one the goggles are already shipping with, or is that a newer one that people who get the goggles should update to?
No, it does not appear to be the one they shipped with, because at least I don't think so, because it says for batch 2 goggle owners, please follow normal goggle firmware update process. So that seems like it's an update.
Okay, so people who just got their batch 2 goggles should flash Rev 0404 blah blah blah.
Yeah, and sticking in the PSA, let's scroll down real quick. There's a goggle section a little lower, and it does explain for batch 1 goggle owners at the bottom of that section there. There's a guide. Scroll up just a little bit, sorry.
Sorry, I'm having here we go.
Right there.
For batch 1 owners, please follow strictly a special one-time goggle firmware update on page 16 of the user manual.
Yeah, so they want you to follow this special process to get to this new version. I guess it's sort of an upgrade somehow in the firmware. Goggles batch 2 owners who are already on this step up won't need it, but the batch 1 owners will for this firmware.
Bobby Bags asks, is this for everyone, batch 1 and batch 2? And the answer is yes, the firmware is for everyone, but batch 1 users have a special process they need to go through. Don't do the normal upgrade process. Batch 2 users do the normal upgrade process. And what happens if a batch 1 user does the normal upgrade process? Do we know?
That's not listed here.
Okay.
Hopefully this won't take, but I don't really know.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I'm going to be working on that. This new firmware has some really cool features. Are we going to talk about those today?
Yeah, we absolutely are. Yeah. So if we go up to the VTX section, we can see that 1080p 30 support, which we've seen a couple preview videos of in the last couple months and stuff, has finally come out on both the VTX side and the goggle side. So you can get 1080p 30 mode with the Micro V2, Nano V2, or Nano Lite cameras. They've got a new 0 milliwatt boot mode. So if you need to keep that VTX unpowered at boot, you can do that now through the VTX menu. Added some auto baud rates. Yeah, and there's some various different things here. The VRX now has support for the Nano 90 camera. It says for speculator. I wonder if that means for spectator. That was my assumption there.
Well, I think the VRX can't output a 90 FPS signal to the goggles because most goggles would not take a 90 FPS signal in. So my guess is that if you have the VRX, it'll downscale that, not downscale. It'll change the frame rate down to 60 FPS, even though you're looking at 90 FPS.
Gotcha.
So that's what I think I've heard they were going to do.
Yeah, and then just some various different things that have been fixed. The goggles have shorter boot time now. They've added Wi-Fi network streaming for an expansion module, some different features and stuff. Soft switch for power on in the batch 2 goggles, some different things. So there's head tracker code, ExpressLRS code, HDUSD code, all kinds of stuff in here.
Exciting stuff. Well, I'm going to be working on a video about that soon, so we'll see how it goes. But good to see HDZero continuing to kick ass and make great stuff.
Yeah, and that brings us into our first story, which is that HDZero has finally has third-party hardware available for pre-order. We've been waiting a long time. We've seen the Emax goggles. I think that's the only other third-party hardware we've seen so far, other than the old Fat Shark stuff. And now we've got a Foxeer race VTX coming soon.
This, of course, is the promise of HDZero, that it'll have open source hardware and open source firmware, and anybody will be able to buy these Divimath chips and put them on their own VTXs and goggles. But so far, we haven't seen a lot. We've seen a little bit. There's the Emax goggle. There's a couple of FreeSky. There's a FreeSky radio that has an HDZero receiver built in. Right. And this Voxer VTX has been coming forever. Now it's finally here.
Yeah, a long time ago we got the tease for it. Yeah, but we're finally seeing it get ready to ship. We're getting pre-orders out, so good sign.
It's a 200 milliwatt, so it's like a race VTX.
I believe it's very similar to the race VTX that we've already seen from HDZero. Just made by Foxeer.
Well, I guess it's good to have other choices when stuff's out of stock. I mean, that is one of the benefits of analog. And so now we got another choice for a HDZero video transmitter.
Absolutely. Hopefully we'll see more and more of those going on. I've heard there's some stuff going on in the background, but we'll have to find out and see what happens.
What kind of stuff?
Stuff I can only say that there's more hardware coming from what I've heard. So I don't know.
Here's what I want. And by the way, I really do. It is really fun for me to kind of go in, to have you be like the serious guy who has all the facts, and I can just kind of be a little looser. And I think it's a good vibe. I mean, of course I do. It's maybe the viewers don't agree, but like you always have one straight guy. You have one good cop, one bad cop, one straight guy, one. Anyway, I want a Foxeer Reaper, like 2-watt HDZero VTX. Make it happen. Foxeer, get on it. Right? Wouldn't that be great?
Yeah.
A high-powered Foxeer HDZero VTX?
I don't think anybody would be complaining, that's for sure.
I'd find a reason to complain. All right. Next up, we have. Is this right?
Yes, this is right. And this, for many people who anybody who hasn't seen this yet might be surprised. And if you have, you might have thought it was a joke. Because for April Fools, on April 1st, Newbeedrone announced 2 new BLV4s, Acro B65 BLV4s. They announced a Crossfire and a Ghost AIO. That's integrated Crossfire and Ghost on the flight controller. And everybody said, hey, that's a great April Fool's joke. You guys are funny. Have a good April Fool's. And then they said, no, this is real. We just chose to announce it on April 1st. So yeah, this is apparently real, and it's pretty crazy to see this. I think for a long time we thought this would never happen, and yeah, it has actually happened. So that's pretty cool. Both Crossfire and Ghost at the same time, which is kind of interesting. But apparently, right now you can't buy the AIOs separately, but they are integrated, and they will be coming along.
That's amazing. That's amazing.
Yep.
That's amazing. Okay. Oh my God.
As we know, I think for Ghost in specifics was, a lot smaller. Ghost has that little tiny, what is it, the AIO?
Yeah, the Ghost AIO, which is a tiny receiver, but it's still a separate thing.
Yeah, but it at least isn't as much weight as a Nano. I think a Nano is like 0.5 gram, and the AIO is like 0.1 or something. So, but yeah, this is definitely going to maybe save you a little weight depending on how they had to do the implementations. I know they mentioned in the video that the Crossfire definitely took up more space on the board than the Ghost did. But yeah, again, really cool to see this. A lot of people were hoping for this to come, and it finally did.
Yeah, excellent. I can't even imagine, because Trappy resisted this for a long time, and I can't imagine what changed his mind.
Yeah, I don't know.
I mean, you don't either, so I don't know why I brought it up, but I'm just kind of gobsmacked.
Yeah, he outright denied it for quite a while. So,
yeah.
For anybody who doesn't know, these are basically serial implementations. Obviously, there's not SPI code developed for this, so these are serial implementations. I
mean, that's good.
Yeah, exactly. They'll do OTA updates just like your other hardware would from TBS or Immersion RC. So you could kind of expect it to work just like another receiver.
Well, that's exciting. To me, this is one of the main things, well, maybe not the main thing, but one of the main things that Express LRS has going for it in the Whoop realm. And I think we've seen a lot of Whoop pilots moving to Express LRS, and largely because it can be integrated into the board like this. And on a quad that small, even the 2 grams or whatever of a Crossfire receiver and antenna is noticeable. And so, I mean, this is another case where Express LRS has pushed the industry forward. I mean, like Ghost going on there, Immersion RC has always seemed hungry to me, and it doesn't surprise me. But for Crossfire to make this decision, and a credit, I guess, has to also go to Newbeedrone, who surely was, convincing people to do this. Very cool.
I mean, it came from the fact that both of these came from the same company at the same time definitely shows that they shepherded this process to happen.
Yeah, 100%. And this is a compelling reason to buy an Acro B. Not that there aren't other reasons, but like if you love the Mobula 6, but you like to fly Crossfire,
just a reminder.
Yeah,
just a reminder, these are all, as far as I know, will continue to be custom Newbeedrone targets. They do have 4.4 hexes. However, they are not available to flash in beta flight out of the list.
Yeah.
Again, these hexes are listed on the pages and they're available there, so that's not so bad. We've seen before a little bit of catch up, because I don't think the other Acro B products have a 4.4 release yet. Just these, because they're new. And then also just a reminder that Newbeedrone's motor plugs are non-standard size, and only Newbeedrone motors use those size plugs. So if you replace these motors, you'll need to replace the plugs on other motors or only use Newbeedrone branded motors. I always like to say those things because I don't appreciate the proprietary nature of Newbeedrone. But other than that, it is cool to see them doing this work.
Yeah. And sometimes there are little gotchas with Newbeedrone products that have custom firmware where maybe you don't get the latest and greatest because Newbeedrone hasn't released it yet. But still, credit where credit's due. This is they've accomplished something that hasn't been accomplished to date, and some would have said would never happen. and that's really
Absolutely
notable. All right.
All right. Next up, Tmotor has come out of the blue. Basically, I mean, I didn't hear anything about this. Maybe people in the Fettech circles did, but Tmotor has come out and released some hardware meant for Fettech. They've got both the Tmotor Fedtech Alpha G4 HD, and they've got the Tmotor Pacer 60 amp D-Shot 2400. And these are both going to be aimed at this Fedtech Alpha on the G4. So if you weren't aware previously, Fettech basically made KISS products. They were making products that ran KISS. Then Fettech developed something called Fedtech Alpha, which is not actually an alpha. It's a full release, but they call it Fedtech Alpha. That's the name of the program. And they developed for their own hardware. So now this new hardware runs that Fedtech Alpha firmware, but it's coming from someone other than Fettech. And Fettech, I believe, I'm not sure which country they were in, but they've been producing out of EU, I believe, somewhere. So this makes it a lot easier to source hardware, and it's from a different company and stuff like that. So hopefully positive. It seems good for people to have more options for hardware.
Yeah, for sure. 100%. That's one of my complaints about KISS Ultra and Fettech is the availability of the hardware. Fettech seems like it is managed to stay in stock a little better than Ultra. I'm not sure that's true, but that's the way it seems to me.
Fettech has stayed in stock way more than Ultra. Yeah, 100%.
Okay, you agree.
By
you're going to back
like
me up on this.
20, 30x. Yeah.
Okay.
You could go buy a Fettech when you feel like it. You can't go buy an Ultra when you feel like it.
Right.
Yeah.
There was a little performance that I did on my live stream yesterday that will probably get clipped to the Livestream Clips stream if you want my impression of what KISS Ultra people sound like when they talk about their stuff being out of stock. But it's great to have a second option. It's great. I believe that Tmotor hardware is made by Acon. I'm like 99% sure about that. If you look at the Acon flight controller and the Tmotor flight controller, they're identical. So I would presume that Tmotor hasn't in-house the manufacturing, but that they're OEMing it through Acon, which is fine because Acon makes great shit. And it's just nice to have additional options. But
also
potentially nice to ship, as you said, from China instead of EU, so this will be a little cheaper, maybe.
Also, I'm happy to. Yeah, I'm happy to share what Empire said in our Discord, which is 100% true. Anybody who flies Fettech knows that their ESCs are what you might call unreliable. I don't know. It depends on who you are and who you ask, but every single person I know who's ever flown Fettech has a stack of dead ESCs. It's just facts. It's just facts. So many people continue to buy them because they're great and they feel good about them and stuff, but hopefully Tmotor has a much better success rate on those ESCs.
Yeah. When I interviewed Phantom FPV for his pilot profile, he was like, "Oh yeah, I fly KISS, I love it." Does he fly Fettech or Ultra? I'm not sure, but he had a stack of like 8 ESCs that he killed. I was like, "Oh." He was like, "Oh, I love it." I was like, "Really? Because you bash the shit out of your gear. I'm surprised you're not killing ESCs." And he was like, "Oh no, I'm killing ESCs."
Yeah.
$100. $200 for a flight controller and an ESC. My God, you have to really like Fettech. That's like even today when $150 or $160 is starting to become, that's like a high end flight controller and ESC. $200 for they better not blow up. That's all I'm saying. Yeah,
in comparison, you can get like the normal Fettech G4 is somewhere. Yeah, around the $80 price range. It looks like.
So not that much more for the Tmotor.
Yeah.
All right. Well, and then more options are always good. Now KISS Ultra, do it. KISS Ultra, come on. Get somebody to make your flight controllers so people can actually buy them.
Fair enough.
All right.
I'll say they did list on Pyrodrone. They sold, but they did list on Pyrodrone, which was new.
Ultra?
And they had, it seemed like more stock. Yeah. It lasted, I think, an hour or two, which is better than
that's a long time.
Yeah. I could be wrong on that time. It definitely wasn't long it lasted, but it lasted longer than it normally does. So.
All right. Next up, there's some news about TBS Fusion integrating into Rotor Hazard.
Yes. TBS announced that they've basically worked with. Oh, I see. Imager
Oops.
was down, so I couldn't create an image for it. Give me just a second. Let me see if it's back up.
I am not in the group.
Bear with us 1 second. Gotta get you guys in.
I'm in the Discord. I'm in the Rotor Hazard Discord. I'm just not on Facebook as much anymore. Nobody get offended.
All right. Oh, there we go.
There we go. Thank you.
All right. So yeah, basically, Rotor Hazard has announced today, along with the TBS update, they did a couch, I believe, about this specifically. But yeah, they've got an update now where the TBS Fusion can track race status in its OSD. So basically, you set up an ESP32 dev board, you flash it with this Fusion communicator tool, you plug that into your Fusion, and then you run this Rotor Hazard plugin and add the Fusion's MAC address in the pilot record on Rotor Hazard. And then once you've done that, Rotor Hazard will communicate with your Fusion board and share race status messages, lap number, race position, lap time, split time, and call sign for the pilot.
That's interesting. Like that, so that's super cool. Is that something that people are going to deal with, like at big races, or is this just like a fun thing for someone to play with, on their own?
The biggest issue I've seen, and hopefully somebody will come up with a solution for this, is basically, the thing I saw people complain about today when talking about this was that essentially it's no like auto bind. You need to share a MAC address from your Fusion to the Rotor Hazard to like the pilot station. Then they can take that MAC address in and put it in Rotor Hazard, and then this feature will work if you have it set up and working. And it's only for the Fusion. Currently, the Rotor Hazard says in the comments that they're happy to work with anybody else to get this working in any other modules. It just currently only works with the Fusion.
Well, I'm sure that HDZero is going to be working. Oh, no, they don't technically have analog in the goggles. They would. They would.
Also for people who didn't know, Rotor Hazard already worked in a similar way with Clearview OSD. So that's a sort of a similar support that's still there. So basically, I think it would be nice if there was a little bit of extra work here put in. I love that this happened, but to be able to bind somehow in a more user-friendly way so that this was more easily applicable in big races. So like, I think this is going to it's just going to be more burden for setup for people. So like you said, it may be more of a fun thing, or like, hey, we race here every week and it's always the same Fusions, where this may happen more often.
Well, and a race organizer at a big race is not going to deal with it. Even at a medium-sized race, you already got the races always take like just hours. I mean, maybe you guys' races are run like clockwork. And I'm not complaining. It's fun to hang out. But like, if you have a large number of pilots, you're always behind schedule and everybody's a little stressed. And I just don't see race organizers being like, hey, give me your MAC address. I don't know. But if you could do something like, as you're sort of checking into the race, you put your Fusion into like discovery mode, and then they click a button on the computer and it finds your Fusion and associates it with your pilot handle, like that could work. I could see
Someone else suggested that you don't even need to do that part or sync anything. You just go into the Fusion with your joystick, you set a pilot handle, and then the broadcasts automatically broadcast to the right Fusion.
Yeah. Like, interesting.
Yeah.
You could just, as long as the string matches. Yeah.
Right. It just gives you the pack, sort of similar to like a binding phrase or something.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I'm sure that the developers are taking all these things into consideration. They're probably already working on V2 now.
Overall, this is cool because I don't think we've seen anything like this. I think Immersion RC attempted to do something like this, but it like didn't work properly, and they never updated the rapid fire again. Something like that. It's still cool to see this, and this wasn't something that needed to happen at all. So.
Rapid fire can talk to a Ghost module, right? A Ghost receiver, and link up. Then they can also talk to an ESP. You can put an ESP chip or a Express LRS receiver in your rapid fire module and link them up. So like there's potential for this to work with anything, but currently just Fusion.
People are also discussing integration now. The HDZero goggles are available. Maybe there could be some integration automatically into the goggles
because they have an ESP chip built in, right?
Yeah, I believe that's the case. So it could kind of work without needing that extra piece of interface.
So theoretically, they would need to be able to overlay the data.
The goggles would Like the goggles would be the ESP chip, I think.
Yeah.
And then your mod. Yeah.
And they would overlay it on the analog feed regardless of what module you're using.
Right.
That's cool. That's pretty cool.
Yeah. Lots of possibility. Again, neat development. Not saying it's bad or anything, but yeah, hopefully we'll see even more development from that side of things.
Well, next up, we are going to take a look back. This was a suggestion one of the viewers made last week at what happened a year ago in the FPV news. What were we talking about a year ago, Blunty?
Well, a year ago, a couple different things I thought were interesting looking back. Number one, BLHeli 32.9 released a year ago today. So that's interesting. That's big. That's still there. That's still the thing we're using.
That had by RPM PWM filtering, or PWM frequency. Was there another big feature that 32.9 added?
I think it just was a lot of cleaning up motor traces and signals and stuff. I seem to remember there was a lot in that department too from people who were having some issues with that sort of thing. So,
all right.
Another thing that happened was DJI V3 goggles showed up in DJI Assistant, which now we know are most likely DJI goggles 2 is what we ended up getting instead of V3s.
Yeah.
So it's kind of a,
V3 would have made so much more sense in terms of a product name.
Yeah, at least the goggles in Tegra are called something, not a number, right?
Thank God.
Yeah. We got Newbeedrone announced a new whoop connector that seems to have never surfaced. The BND 3.0 whoop connector. Oops. They said it was going to be better than BT2.
I am really surprised I'm not in these groups. Am I just logged into the wrong profile? Yeah, okay. Maybe. Oh my God.
Any luck?
I really need the imager.
Okay. It was broken when I made this show notes earlier. I've got a link for you down there.
I don't know why why I can't just... Now I'm logged in. Can I just go to the damn comment? Oh, yeah. Oh, there we go. It's because I was on the wrong Facebook profile. Fantastic. The BND 3.0 connector is coming soon.
Yeah, see the original announcement from Kelvin. And if you do that, view all 5 replies there. He says, lighter than BT2, similar size, but different connector. So yeah, I guess we never saw that. Maybe it was in development. Couldn't happen. But kind of interesting to see.
Yeah, I guess that's probably not coming.
Yeah.
All righty.
And then the other big news we had was that Catalyst Machine Works was acquired by Cyberlux. And I don't know, we haven't heard much from Catalyst Machine Works lately. I mean, they're still making the quads they've made, but no big splashes, I don't think, are major releases, at least that I've heard of since then. So, yeah.
I mean, as far as I know, they're still like supporting and selling the products that they made, but I haven't seen them announce like a new Cinelifter or anything. So who knows what they're doing on the back end, but certainly wish them the best.
Yeah.
Alrighty, well, it's time to pay the bills. It's time to do our plugs. And we don't plug sponsors, we plug our own websites, because don't give money to sponsors. No. Oh, boy. Never mind. Let's just plug the websites.
All right, first up, we've got fpvknowitall.com, which is your website where you can find out the ultimate FPV shopping list, or you can find all kinds of different things to buy. Maybe you're looking for some LiPo chargers. You can come and check out what chargers you think are good and what people should buy. And you get some different options, too. Maybe you've got the cheapest option. You've got a best option for different use cases. The premium option, all kinds of different things. It's not just you vetting these. You've got other people working for you, trying to make sure that you vet the absolute best products you can as often as you are able to. Yeah,
trying to keep that up to date. Whenever somebody asks, what X do you recommend? What should I get? Well, I always, I sometimes refer back here and go, I don't know, what do I recommend? But yeah, all those links are affiliate links, most of them. And that means it's an easy way for you to support the channel just by clicking those links and making purchases.
In fact, in case if you didn't know, you can click support me and you see all your affiliate links in case
you'd like to
use those affiliate links. Yeah, but for promotion, so it's okay.
Okay. I don't mind. I just want to, I'm keeping count.
Okay.
The audience is keeping count. Hey, audience, who's keeping count?
You got your little hand counter.
Put one on Blunty's side real quick there. Also, I want to tell you about ItsBlunty.com. ItsBlunty.com is Blunty's website where you can go and sign up for a one-on-one troubleshooting call. If you need help with anything, whether you want to get on a screen share and look at Betaflight, troubleshoot your quad, whatever, or just ask questions, talk about FPV, you can book a session with him. I like to say you're just as smart as me and about a third the price. So people should just talk to you.
Yeah. Also, like we said before, I'll try not to fight you too hard, but I'm not going to let you pay unless I know I can help you.
Yeah. And you'll try to help him for free.
That's
I think we all do. Joshua Bardwell Livestream Clips. What's the heck is that?
Yeah, we've got the Joshua Bardwell Livestream Clips channel where we post clips from your Sunday streams and Monday streams. Let's just say hour now, a little bit at least. Like I'm helping you do production on those shows now and taking questions so we can get a more thorough show. We can try to get all those questions in. But yeah, we post clips there. We're doing all kinds of extra clips this month, and we're going to see how it goes. So if you love clips, if you miss these live streams or you just want to see back to them, this is a great place to check it out.
I'm looking at the views per hour on some of these. This one's doing real good compared to like this one. I don't know. Interesting. Oh, right. I'm supposed to be doing a stream. Last up, we have searchfpv.com. SearchFPV is a multi-store FPV search engine where you can search for products that you want to find in stock. You can search by region. Let's just search the whole world and see the Avata is in stock. All right? And it'll just search all those stores for you. Those are also affiliate links. So if you are interested in helping us out, if you want to find stuff in stock or do some comparison shopping, you can do it. These search results are
absolutely true.
I mean, a lot of stores will return other search results. Oh, here we go. Found it. In stock. $0. That doesn't seem right. Rick, I found another bug. Why does it say zero? Excited. Oh, it's always. Why does it say it's got to be something about... Oh. Is he here? I'm going to ping him. His ears are burning.
All right.
Oh, well. Anyway, let's continue with the news.
Yeah. Next up, we got Cinematic of the Week, which we don't always have, but sometimes we do, and they're pretty cool. And this one's going to be some drone shots of racing boats. This is a racing boat where they were putting a drone out the side and checking out the boat while it was sinking. I thought there were some pretty neat shots.
Alrighty. Like we always do with the cinematics, we're going to give you a little taste of this. And then I want you to go down to the video description and go, if you want to see more, go give the original creator your view. Okay? So we're just going to show a little taste.
And just a reminder, if you're in the live stream, or if you're in the Discord, you can be in the live stream channel where I post all the links for our show notes, so you can keep up with the show.
All right, let's see what we got.
I'm not using the filter, the ND filter, because there is.
This is 100% real, no filters. 100% real.
Yeah, this is no filter.
No filter.
Hashtag no filter, no Instagram filter.
No Instagram filter.
Look at that boat. That is just.
Okay, so this is not a drone shot.
Incredible.
This is from another boat.
What we look like?
Right?
No, this is a drone shot.
Wow.
Oh, I see the gimbal. How is it tracking the boat so precisely?
Look at the sprays.
That makes sense why the albatrosses follow us with this.
It's stabilized like that's amazing.
This is a beautiful shot. Look at that.
It's so stable.
Beautiful.
Alright, we need to get out of the way.
Except when the
Okay,
gimbal
now
does
Will,
that.
I need a little bit of acceleration, okay?
Yeah, she's coming, she's coming.
Okay, look at the wave.
Wow, look at the way it comes back. Wow, this is sick.
Oh my God, it's going so fast. Wow.
Cool shots.
That's really cool. What
Yeah,
do we
I
know
can
what drone that
definitely say
was? Oh, sorry.
I've never seen the shots like that. Yeah, he shows it a little bit earlier in the video. I think it's a Mavic of some sort. Let's see.
Wow.
Yeah, Mavic 2? It looks like
there
a
we
Mavic
go.
3. I'm not sure.
And bonus points for anybody in the chat who knows what this little thing is for. Blunty, do you have a guess?
I'm going to guess so that he can hold it while he's launching it. That's what I guess.
And catch it when he's landing it.
Right.
Fair enough. It can fly over to the boat because he can't land it on the boat. So it flies over and he reaches up and I've seen that on a couple other drones before. It's pretty slick. Really something. The audio commentary made that clip 100 times better. Yeah. You talking about me or are you talking about them? Probably them. Yeah. Very, very cool. Very cool stuff. So stable. I'm really impressed. I mean, I guess it's flying. It's not on the ocean, so maybe it's actually easier for it to be stable. I don't know.
Right. I guess it depends on the wind and and the drone and stuff.
Yeah. Alrighty. Next up, we have got an event to tell you about.
Yes, we do.
Edgewater, Ohio. If you're
at the flight test field in Edgewater, Ohio, where you might be attending Flight Fest later on in the year. Street League is racing there. They've got a Street League race May 19th through the 21st in Edgewater, Ohio. So we want to let you know about that Street League race in case you're interested in attending, either as a racer or there as a spectator.
Yeah, for those who don't know, Blunty, what's Street League?
Street League is large 7-inch quads that have spec requirements for weight, LEDs, motors, all kinds of different things. And I believe now they're all required to run a specific version of Betaflight that does RPM limiting to specifically make sure they're within the spec when they're flying.
The idea is, I think, the story I heard is correct, is that people were sort of inspired by DRL style racing. They wanted to race larger, heavier quads, but obviously you can't get the DRL racer if you don't work for DRL. So they came up with a spec class that sort of emulated the flight characteristics of the DRL racer. Is that? Can anybody tell me if that story is true or is it just apocryphal? Because lots of people love 7-inch racing.
Sure, I feel like it would sure be very circumstantial if that wasn't the case. Mm-hmm. So I think it kind of has to be, because otherwise, why else would you have those 2.2 kilogram plus drones? Right, 1,200 gram drones flying with LEDs slowly around a track in the same way as DRL without purposely. Yeah.
Bubby points out that the guy who started it, Sky, was a DRL pilot. That sort of adds up. Yeah. And it's funny because, obviously the guys who fly multi-GP 5 inches, the appeal of that is obvious. It's very, very popular. And so some people might ask, why would you want to fly a bigger, heavier, slower, less agile quad? And it's to me, it feels kind of like the difference between karting and NASCAR and Formula One racing. There's all kinds of different vehicles you can race with all kinds of different vehicle dynamics. And one of the things about the DRL style racing is that it because the quadcopter itself is less agile, it forces better technique from the pilots. Like with multi-GP with a 5-inch, if you screw up a turn, you could theoretically just get on the throttle and make that time up. But with a quad like this, if you blow out a turn, there's no throttle left. You have to have good technique, and it actually it makes it more of an even competition between the pilots and less reliant on just pure reflexes. So anyway, yeah. You want to check that out, or any Street League? You could check it out. Great. Yeah. Next up, we would do super chats. If we had any super chats, but we don't. So we will now, you don't have to do this with me, but any week when we don't have super chats, I've just started glaring at the camera for 30 seconds. Okay, maybe not 30 seconds. What's next?
All right, next up is It's Barely News. And in It's Barely News, the first one we've got is, funny enough, a story about DRL. We wanted to point it out that, as people may know, NBC, works with DRL. They show DRL on the channel, and they just did a little news piece about DRL that one of the good things people are talking about with drones, so we wanted to let you know about it. And it's barely news.
Wow.
Gonna beat the other one pretty much.
Oh, NBC's totally gonna copy strike us if we play this. I have to stop. Screw you, NBC. Very exciting. Anytime drones get mainstream coverage, I find it very, very exciting. I am annoyed that they called these the world's fastest drones. They're not. The world's fastest drones, they don't hold the world record.
This is very typical news. Very typical. They did, though. I wonder if they don't know that the world record got beat, because the previous world record was a Racer 4.
Yeah, I remember that. Maybe.
I'll give them the benefit of the doubt on that one.
Okay. Very cool to see drone racing getting mainstream coverage. DRL doing good things, I think. Next up, 20,000 reasons to play Liftoff.
Yeah, Liftoff has passed 20,000 pieces of workshop content. For people who don't know, Liftoff has Steam Workshop support, so you can put things in the game and then have them, stored in the workshop for other people to download. And they've passed 20,000 pieces of that content, which seems like a pretty cool milestone.
Very cool. Liftoff definitely has a great community of people creating content for it, and the ability to access that stuff through the Steam Workshop is makes it really easy to take advantage of. So very cool.
All right, and last up, we've got a patent from Ford. Wanted to show you. Oh my
God! Sorry, go ahead.
Ford's patent is from years ago, but it's just published publicly currently, and their plan is for a system for drones to come save your car when you stall or when you're out of battery.
This fucking picture. It's picture ridiculous. Of these stupid drones. Open your hood. Let me jumpstart your car. Oh yeah. This is an actual diagram from the patent.
Yeah.
Every one of these. This is acidine.
In this plan, drones people would call in a request for assistance through their vehicle and wait for drones to speed their way to them to provide charges to get the stalled car started from their battery. And if they can't figure out how to do that, they would also drop a remote start device to help try to get the battery going.
So your battery's dead. You need a jump start. They don't want to send a truck out to you. Fine, I get that. I guess the theory is that you're going to open your hood. You're going to what? Are you going to hook up some lines? Or is the drone going to land and come over to your car?
The patent seems to suggest that, it would just automatically hook up.
Yeah. I mean, to get at my battery in my car, I have to remove a piece of cover, a piece of trim.
Yeah, I would assume there's some kind of system in these cars that is drone ready or something.
All right. Well, thank you, Ford, for that hilarious image. Just this picture of these drones coming at these stupid looking drones coming at this car. I realize this is just a patent. It just describes the concept, but it's just cracking me the heck up. So, guess what, Blunty? Wait. Do we have more barely news? We got super chats. You see?
Oh, all right.
As always, the secret to getting things in life is whining. You whine about an open source project, they give you what you want. You whine at people to give you money, they give you what you want. I have to read super chats now. Hold on.
All right.
Oh, thank you so much. Thank you. I won't go back. What the hell? Oh, no. Thank you to Joe G FPV for a $5 super chat. Thank you to iFly FPV for a $10 super chat. Kim Fused, thank you for $5. No, not the stare. Thank you, Kim. Cold Front and Penguin, thanks for $2. This is all I have. Thank you. That's I will treasure it. I will treasure it always. Uncle Stewie, thanks for $20. I was guilted by the glare, and there's one more that for some reason I can't scroll up to it, so I have to go to the YouTube control panel, backend, whatever, and look it up because you got to respect the super chats. Electrical Nightmare, thanks for 220 Canadian. And that's it. We're caught up now. Oh, Cold Front and Penguin found $2 more. Thank you, Cold Front. There we go. That's going to do it for the news. It was a little bit of a light week. What should people do to make sure that we don't have a light week?
Yeah, if you want to make sure that if you think we've missed something here, or you just want to make sure that we've heard a story, you can email news@fpvknowitall.com down there with your news. And let me tell you something, little fact here, is we often get emails that say, hey, I'm sure everyone's told you about this, but here's a link and you got to check it out. And I'll say like the last 6 of those I got, I think, were all different stories that nobody had emailed me yet. Mm-hmm. So however many people you think are emailing the news, reduce that number by about 50, because that's how many people are actually emailing. So.
Nice. Yeah. We should do I see Quick Flash in the chat. I want to do a follow-up with him and find out whatever happened with his, the Terrence Howard linchpin project. He was one of the winners.
Oh, right.
I mean, I don't want to put you on the spot, Quick Flash, but it just occurred to me because you came by the live stream. Whatever happened with that? Like, I don't know. I don't know if that's a news thing or not, but maybe we'll do that as an update. Oh, we got one more super chat. Dwayne, thank you for $10. I got into the hobby in 2014. Hey, that's roughly when I got in the hobby. You've helped me every step of the way. Thank you, JB. Thank you. That means a lot. I appreciate it. We're 10 minutes early, but the news is over, so we're going to wrap up, and we will see you guys next week. Bye, everybody.
Yeah. Thanks, everybody.